Hi, everybody. Welcome to Convertible Conversations. Today and all this week, I want to talk to you about fake news, the original fake news, lies that we believed about God, and the ensuing damage that they cause. You know, if you believe something false about the stock market and you're an investor, that's going to have a dramatic negative effect on your portfolio. If you believe something false about another person or group of people, that will negatively affect almost everything in your relationship with them. If you believe something false about a country or its leader or the government, it will negatively affect how you relate to that entity. If you believe something false about your spouse, it'll negatively affect almost everything. And if you believe something false about God, it will have a drastic negative effect really on every part of your life. It'll affect your decisions. It'll affect how you see yourself. It'll affect how you see other people and other things. Now, you might be going along seemingly doing pretty well in life, but if you believe false things about God, I believe you will never really be able to enjoy life the way God has made it possible for us to enjoy life. You'll never really experience the full, abundant life that Jesus gave us to have and wants us to have. You'll never truly have wonderful relationships with other people and with God, and you won't even know what you're missing because you're believing a lie. If you believe something false about God, I've found that can dramatically, for the worse, affect your health, your attitude, your emotions, your self-worth, your relationships, your mental health, everything. I'm not exaggerating. George MacDonald, the great pastor and writer who was a mentor to C.S. Lewis and Karl Barth and many others, said this: good souls, many, will one day be horrified at the things they now believe of God. They can make little progress in the knowledge of God while holding evil things to be true of him. Well, he made that statement 100 years ago. Man, it is sure still true. I've come to understand that really every pain, every confusion, every struggle, all of that's rooted in not knowing God. It keeps us from seeing God's goodness and instead causes us to see evil in God and other places. We don't see hope in God. Instead, we experience depression and hopelessness. We don't see God's faithfulness. That's what causes us to covet and steal. And, it's not something that's going on in our soul. The reason is it's something that we can't see the truth about who God really is. Jesus said in John 17:3, the night before he died, he said, I want to net it out for you. This is eternal life. That's what it is. Knowing my Father, Jesus said, and me. Eternal life is knowing God, and that's light. Anything else is darkness. Now, the moment one believes the truth about God's love, then fear can just disappear. Everything we struggle with in our soul, I believe, is caused by the darkness in our minds and in our hearts about what we believe about God. Now, there are some specific things from time to time that I or any pastor or teacher or counselor can tell you that will help you in your everyday life. But actually, unless you know the truth about God, anything that a pastor or teacher or counselor, gives you to help you in life is sort of like putting Band-Aids on cancer. I want you to listen to this passage from The Shack that we talked about a lot last week. Mackenzie, it was the voice of Papa, especially gentle and tender. You really don't understand yet. You try to make sense of the world in which you live based on a very small and incomplete picture of reality. It's like looking at a parade through the tiny knothole of hurt and pain and self-centeredness and power and believing that you're on your own and insignificance. All of these contain powerful lies, Papa said. You see pain and death as ultimate evils, and God as the ultimate betrayer, or perhaps at best as fundamentally untrustworthy. You dictate the terms and judge God's actions, Papa says, and find me guilty. The real understanding flaw in your life, Papa says, is that you don't think I, God, am good. If you knew that I was good and that everything, the means, the ends, and all the processes of individual lives is all covered by my goodness, then while you might not always understand what I'm doing, you would trust me. But you don't. Papa went on to say, you cannot produce trust just like you cannot do humility. It either is or is not. Trust is the fruit of a relationship in which you know you are loved. Papa said, because you do not know that I love you, you cannot trust me. As you get to know me, you will discover that our relationship is not about performance or you having to please me. I'm not a bully, not some self-centered, demanding little deity insisting on my own way. I am good, Papa said, and I only do what is best for you. You cannot find that through guilt or condemnation or coercion, only through a relationship of love. And Papa closed by saying, and I do love you. Wow. Well, fake news tells us that God is not really that good. He can't actually be trusted, and he actually does bad things. I mean, just look at the Old Testament, fake news says. When we believe that, we'll never trust God and we'll never flourish. But the truth will set us free, and it has set us free. Join me tomorrow as we continue with fake news and the problems that it's caused. Thanks for watching, everybody.